Sri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Sri Sadguru Paramatmane Namaha. Sarva Maharshibhyo Namaha. Men of demonical nature deny the existence of the Lord. 11th sloka. Avajananti mam moodha manushim tanumashritam param bhavamajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Substance. The ignorant disregard me, not knowing my higher nature as the Lord of all beings, refuged in human body. Commentary. Paramatma is the controller of all beings. He is the Lord, Ishvara. He has already declared that, though he has now birth, he appears to be born in the world for the purpose of establishing dharma and protecting the righteous. When he assumes the human form, the deluded disregard him as no more than other mortals. There are some people proud of their position and wealth, ill-treating and abusing saints and sadhus. As the saints and sadhus are devoid of worldly goods like wealth and position, some people show no respect for them. The Bhakta and Bhagavan are one. The Lord is present in his devotees and they have to be honored as such. Shishupala and Duryodhana never understood the divine nature of the Lord Krishna. It was only Bhishma and a few others who recognized the divinity of Krishna. Those who are engaged in spiritual practice should be careful about the wrong view and opinions expressed by the common people. Honor and dishonor come to them. Honor from the wise, dishonor from the unwise. In such situations, the seeker has to be firm and steady and not yield to the common reactions of elation and anger. Let the seeker avoid the company of those who deny God and abuse sages and saints. By his own elevated thoughts and actions, he should set an example of purity and godliness to others. Question. What is the state of Paramatma? Answer. He is the controller of all human beings and assumes human form for establishing dharma. Question. What is the nature of the ignorant? Answer. They disregard the Lord, thinking him to be only a common mortal. Question. From this, what is it that we understand? Answer. One should try to understand the true state of God and avoid abuse of saints, bhaktas and other godly men. 12th sloka. Moghasha moga karmano moga gnana vichetasaha rakshasi masurim chaiva prakritim mohinim shritaha. Substance. Of vain hopes, of vain actions, of vain knowledge and senseless. They verily are possessed of the deluding nature of the devilish and the undivine. Commentary. Human nature is divided into two types, the divine, Daivi Prakriti, and the undivine, Asuri Prakriti. The Lord is here referring to the later, men of undivine nature. Their hopes are vain, 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 empty. Their actions are vain, producing nothing good or permanent. Their knowledge is also vain because it is confined to the senses and the perishable world. Such knowledge viewed from the spiritual plane is empty, vain and useless. They are devoid of understanding and so they have no thought of anything beyond the body. Such men are possessed of the devilish and undivine nature. The tamasic guna or the dark quality of Prakriti characterizes the beings here spoken of as Rakshasic and Asuric. Rakshasas are semi-human beings, brutal and bloodthirsty. The Asuras are the opponents of the Devas. The Devas have Sattvaguna. The asuras possess Rajoguna. They have evil desires and use their powers in evil ways. Their life is useless. That is why the word useless, mogha, is repeated 3 times in this verse. The point is that all those people live in the empty world of Maya. So, whatever they do or think or hope is empty, nothing, signifying nothing. The seekers have to understand the sharp distinction between the real and unreal. Atma alone is real, nothing else. Knowing this, they should move towards the reality, giving up all foolish and vain hopes and actions. They should cultivate the good qualities like self control, sense restraint, discrimination, and humility. They should become the instruments of the divine. They should be the servants of the Lord. Their thoughts and actions should follow the divine law. Question: what is asuric nature? Answer: it dilutes man and plunges him in ignorance. Question: how do such people act? Answer: their hopes, actions, and knowledge are vain. Question: what should be the conduct of rational man? They should abandon the asuric force and seek refuge with the Lord. Think and act in accordance with his law. In 2 verses, the Lord describes the men of divine nature. 13th shloka. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritimashritah bhajantyananya manaso gnatva bhutadimavyayam. Substance. O Arjuna, but great souls possessing divine nature worship me, knowing me to be the origin of all beings and imperishable. Commentary. In the 16th discourse, Asura Prakriti and Devi Prakriti are explained in full detail. Those who take refuge in divine nature are described as great souls, Mahatmanaha. They worship the Lord with unswerving minds because they identify the Lord with 2 great attributes. The Lord is the final cause of all beings. He is imperishable. These 2 attributes are not to be found in any other thing or person. The Lord is the ancient, beyond birth and death, and universal. Thus, the great souls distinguish the Lord from all other material and superficial things. They are able to see clearly how everything is going through a process of change, whereas the eternal Lord remains changeless. Therefore, their mind is ever contemplating the Lord with unswerving devotion. Ananya Manasaha means when the mind stops its wandering habit and rests in the self, it is declared as unswerving mind. Ananya Manasaha. When the mind fully understands the transitoriness of the world and the eternal bliss of Atma, it ceases to run out towards sense objects. That is why the word knowing, gnatva, is used here. One has faith in that which he knows. Then only that mind comes to the rest there. It is dispassion, vairagya. It is single-minded devotion to the Lord. Whoever takes refuge in the divine nature and understands the Lord as the imperishable, final cause and is devoted to him is a Mahatma, great soul. The title Mahatma has no reference to caste, race, or religion. Those who yield to the undivine and asuric nature are Alpatmas, little souls. Generally, the mind of the common man is like a fly which sits on pure sweetmeats for some time and then fly on some other filthy objects. The mind should be trained to sustain itself on divine thoughts always. Mind, thus being purified, takes the form of chit, knowledge. That state is moksha. Question: how do those people who follow divine nature act? Answer: Knowing the Lord to be imperishable and the final cause of all objects and beings, they worship Him with single minded devotion. Question: what is the nature of Paramatma? Answer: imperishable, final cause of all beings and objects. Question: who is a Mahatma? Answer: he who takes refuge in divine nature, understands the Lord's state and worships Him is a Mahatma. Question: how can one cultivate single-minded devotion to God? By understanding His real nature, that He is the origin of all beings, the imperishable. He develops faith in Him as the only reality, and by such faith his mind naturally comes to rest in Him only.